Hi, today I'm going to present you the common problem we archers face when we're using this foam as our target. First of all, after a long period of shooting, the foam will get damaged and it will deconstruct as shown here.
From the video that we have just shown you, the first problem is that the target gets worn out very easily, approximately after 100 to 200 shots. This would mean that by almost every month, the target has to be replaced, meaning that it's very, very unsustainable.
The second problem, when the foam is completely new, it is quite hard to pull the arrow out from the foam.
You can see from the second problem is that it's very, very hard to pull out, meaning that you need a lot of energy to pull the arrows out. And this doesn't make sense at all, because you need to conserve as much energy as possible to shoot as much arrow as you can during your archery session, right? So, in other words, some sort of lubricants is needed to ensure the easy removal of the arrows from target. And this is plainly redundant and unnecessary.
The third problem, the arrow carries energy after it is being released from the bow. The arrow that hits the foam will melt it and cause some residue from the foam to stay on the arrow, which may affect the arrow's flight, which causes it to be more inconsistent.
In addition to the arrows being hard to pull out from the target, it also stains the arrow when you pull it out from the target, meaning that there are extra weights on the arrow and it decreases the dexterity of the archer. And the bad part about this is that to ensure your accuracy, you have to clean your arrow every time after you shoot. And that is just plain nuisance and annoyance. So what we are trying to do is to come up with a solution that addresses all the challenges that the archers faced that was listed earlier. The challenges are the difficulty in removing the arrows, the stain that are found on the arrows after the removal, and lastly, the frequent replacement of the targets.
The main objective of this project is to create a revolutionary clay-type archery target that will replace the conventional archery target, which is the foam target. It will also fix the problem faced by using the foam target. The archery target will have a self-heal feature where the target can be reshaped by hand to get back to its original form after a lot of shooting because of its clay material. This will increase the lifespan for the archery target up to 3 times longer than the foam target, which has to be replaced every 1 or 2 months. The clay archery target will be designed to not leave hard stains on the arrow and can be removed a lot easier than the melted plastic stains that got stuck on the arrow with the foam target. This is because the clay cools out a lot faster than the plastic, which makes the stain easier to remove, or none will be stuck at all. Lastly, the archery target will be designed to make it easy for the archers to pull arrow out from the target. This is because the particles for the clay can expand a lot easier than the foam target, which makes it easier for the arrow to be pulled out from the target. The key deliverables for this project is to produce a material that can self-heal and last up to 3 times longer than the conventional foam target. The second deliverable is making a target that can withstand and stop arrows from a bow up to 70 pounds. The third deliverable is determining the most suitable type of material so that it won't leave stain that is hard to scrape off like the foam target. The fourth key deliverable is to determine the type of material that don't make it hard for the user to pull the arrow out of the target. The fifth is to making a suitable outer layer that can protect the surface of the material from external environment. Number 6 is to determine the most suitable dimension for the target butt for users' convenience. And the last one is to make a SolidWorks file for the assembly of the target butt and the casing. Budget for air dry clay target has a rough estimation of Rm80 ringgit to be produced. Rm50 will be the cost to manufacture the clay material, which contains flour, glue, vinegar, salt, and cornstarch. RM15 will be allocated for the wooden container to contain the clay material. Another RM15 will be allocated for the backstopper of the target, which is a thick carpet. For this project is until the engineering fair, which is at week 14, 6th of December.
As for the priority analysis of our project, the schedule of our project to be completed is by week 14, which is the engineering fair. As for the scope of our project, we aim to design an archery target which has the ability of self-healing, where it can last longer than the normal foam target by 3 times more. Also, for the budget, we have a budget of RM80 that we just mentioned earlier. For the quality part, we have to ensure that our product, which is the air dry clay target, has the self-healing ability where it can last longer than the normal foam target. Each part of these have their own consequences. As for the consequences of our schedule, if we didn't make it by week 14, there is no artifact in the engineering fair and it will affect our project marks. For the scope, if we cannot design the self-healing target, where we will lose the client's trust. As for the budget part, if we created a prototype which exceeds RM80 of the budget, it will cause losses in the project also. As for the consequences of the quality of our project, if we cannot ensure that the target has the self-healing ability, customer satisfaction will be jeopardized. As for the risk management for our project, the positive risk, which is known as the opportunity, will be the experimenting for our second plan, which is the slime clay. The slime clay is a better and a huge boost for our project if it successfully be done. As for the negative risks, which is known as the threats, if we fail to make the slime clay to be manufactured, it is most probably that our project will be behind the schedule. Hence, to prevent ourselves from being threatened by the negative risk, we actually started earlier our project, that we have more times for trial and errors on different types of clays. Also, we will seek advices from our supervisor, who is Dr. Evin, when we face the obstacles during experimenting the slimes and clays. Also, once we know that the slime doesn't work, we will go back to our backup plan, which is the air dry clay solution.
Upon research, our group has found that plasticine type materials such as clay and slimy are the best solution for our target. This is because the malleable properties of the material will allow the target to be remolded once the target is worn out after being shot many times. The next key deliverable is to come up with a material that is able to stop the arrow with a force up to 70 pounds. We decided to go with a thick box of compressed clay and adding a carpet stopper behind. The thicker the clay, the easier it is to stop the arrow. And compressed clay is chosen as the material because it fits in with the other objectives of the project, and it is also tough enough to withstand the force of the 70-pound arrow and also being a malleable material. The carpet stopper is added for safety reasons to ensure that the arrow does not penetrate the target fully. The next key deliverable includes finding out what causes the stain as the arrow is being pulled out of the target and coming up with the material that will prevent such an incident. Upon research, we have found that it is the heat caused by the friction as the arrow penetrates the target which causes the stains of the arrow, because the heat melts the surface of the foam in contact with the arrow, and as such, the foam sticks onto the surface of the arrow when it's being pulled out. Therefore, we have decided to go with clay, yet again because it also fits with our other objectives of the project, as well as it being a high melting point material, which means that the friction caused by the arrow penetration will not melt the clay in any way, which means that the soft clay, as the arrow is pulled out, will be easily removed and no stain will be left on the arrow. The next key deliverable includes coming up with a material which will solve the problem of the arrow being hard to pull off the target. Yet again, malleable materials solve this issue as they create less friction as the arrow penetrates the target itself and makes it easy to pull out. And yet again, we have gone with clay as we analyze each and every criteria of this project, the key deliverables and such. We have found that clay fits many of these objectives, and clay is a suitable material in this particular point as well, which is why we're going with the air dry clay in this case. Moving on, the next key deliverable that we address is to come up with a material that can separate the surface of the target with the external environment. For this, we decided to go with a thin layer of grease to cover the surface of the target itself, and this allows the target to be protected from the external environment as well as it being exposed to air, which in turn results in it being able to last longer, as it will be able to remain its chemical properties much better while being coated with grease. For this next key deliverable, our job will be to determine the best design and dimension for our archery target, which takes into account the convenience of the archers using this target, as they will be our main focus and target market for this project. Upon comparing the different dimensions and sizes of the targets in the market, as well as considering the portability of the target, making it easily accessible and easily installed, we have decided to make our archery target at a dimension of 16 by 16 by 12 inches. And at this size, it is very compact and easily portable, and it is also suitable for casual shooting as well as competition shooting, as the size of the target is well within range and it will suit all kinds of uses for different archers.
So what I'm going to talk about is our project's teamwork. Firstly, I will go into our overall performance, which I would say is above average, and it's above average in a way that we are able to meet all our deadlines, and the task is very well delegated and the progress is very well monitored. So our team members are very flexible in a way that they are able to cope with all the adjustments that were made in order to meet our deadlines. Also, our tasks are very well delegated in a way that we can utilize our human resources very properly. Also, we have a project manager that we all report to, which is our group leader. And that way, our progress is very well monitored because he has a very clear picture of how our project is going. However, we have encountered some issues that might have jeopardized our project. And to cope with these issues, we have come up with some mitigation plans. to solve our problem. Firstly, there are some time coordination problem and communication breakdown. This happened due to teammates having different schedule, and therefore some are not able to be present during our meetings and discussions. Therefore, some of them are not updated accordingly. Also, the other issue is the unforeseen issues due to experimenting of our materials. To come up with our material, we have tried different material in the making, and some of these materials work and some do not. The unforeseen issues are that we are unable to figure out why, and therefore a lot of time has been taken to find the proper solution. So the mitigations that have been taken place in order to curb our issues are very simple. First of all, in order to cope with the time coordination problem, we all arrange our meetings and discussion to be on during meal time. So everyone can sit down and have our meal and at the same time talk about our project. Therefore, we can kill two birds with one stone. At the same time, the communication breakdown issue can be solved. Because we are all sitting down at the same table and talking about our project, everyone is updated accordingly. And lastly, to tackle the unforeseen issue during experimenting, we decided to start very early so that we have a lot of time to continue experimenting and to search for the proper solution. In that way, a certain allowable time for error is included, and therefore we'll be able to work with our project very comfortably.
As a summary, this project has overcome all the main problems faced by the archers. We have created a solution formula that are better than the form target. Our specially designed air dry clay are strong enough to stop the arrows, rigid enough to hold the arrows, soft enough to a point where the archer can pull out the arrows from the target, and the stain can be removed easily. Last but not least, it will last longer than the foam arrow as it have a properties of self-healing. This can make archery more economical, competitive and fun to play.